I don't think people understand the magnitude of Google's $32 billion bet on Wiz. From billion-dollar acquisitions to state-sponsored cyber attacks, you won't believe what's been happening behind the scenes. We've got data breaches so big they make the Panama Papers look like a post-it note stuck to a monitor, ransomware gangs with more twists and turns than a Christopher Nolan film, and a vulnerability in Windows that Microsoft apparently just decided to leave open like a window during mosquito season. So, buckle up, grab your tinfoil hats and get ready for a wild ride through the wonderful, terrifying world of cybersecurity. Google, the tech giant that knows more about you than your own mother, probably, has just spent a cool $32 billion on an Israeli cybersecurity company called Wiz. Now this isn't just some Silicon Valley startup with a catchy name and a dream. This is Wiz, a company that's been rocketing to the top of the cybersecurity game faster than you can say phishing scam. This acquisition is a big deal, folks, especially because Google tried to buy them before, but those pesky regulators stepped in, worried about Google becoming some kind of cybersecurity monopoly. Well, it seems like Google finally got their way and now they have Wiz's impressive cloud security technology under their belt. What are they planning to do with it? World domination? Probably not. But knowing everything about everyone's cloud data? Yeah, that sounds more like it. Speaking of things that make you question everything you know, the US government recently declassified some files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Now, before you get your hopes up for some shocking revelations about grassy knolls and magic bullets, this release was more of a bureaucratic bungle than a bombshell. It turns out that among the declassified documents were the personal details of over 400 government employees, just casually left in there like someone forgot to use the redaction tool in Microsoft Word. Names, addresses, phone numbers, all the ingredients for a lovely identity theft stew, courtesy of Uncle Sam. This whole thing just shows that even with the most sensitive information, sometimes it's just human error that leads to a data breach. And let's be honest, folks, humans are about as reliable as a screen door on a submarine. Remember the Babuk ransomware gang? The ones who claimed to have stolen blueprints for a real-life Iron Man suit from a defense contractor? Well, they're back, and this time they're claiming to have hit some major Chinese online stores and even Orange, the French telecommunications giant. Now, before you start panicking and transferring all your savings into a coffee can buried in the backyard, let's remember that Babuk has a bit of a history of, shall we say, embellishing their achievements. They're kind of like the kid in school who claimed they spent the summer wrestling crocodiles in the Amazon but really just stayed home and played video games. So, while it's possible they actually breached these companies, it's also possible they're just trying to drum up some attention. After all, in the world of ransomware, notoriety can be as valuable as Bitcoin. Chapter 4. Black Basta Busted. When Putin's helping hand holds a hacker. Remember those internal chats from the Black Basta ransomware gang that got leaked a while back? Well, it turns out they revealed some juicy details about the gang's inner workings, including the fact that their leader had been arrested, and then mysteriously escaped. Now, we're not saying that Vladimir Putin himself orchestrated the whole jailbreak, but let's just say the Kremlin's fingerprints are all over this one. It seems the Russian government has a bit of a soft spot for these cybercriminal masterminds, as long as they're willing to point their hacking tools in the direction of the West, of course. And why not? It's a cheap and effective way to sow chaos and disruption without having to send in the tanks. Chapter 5. Oracle hacked? More like someone left the back door wide open. A lone wolf hacker recently claimed to have breached Oracle, the tech giant that's about as exciting as a beige wall, and made off with a cool 6 million records. Now Oracle has denied the breach, saying that their systems are as secure as Fort Knox guarded by 1,000 ninjas. However, independent researchers have a sneaking suspicion that the data might have been swiped through a vulnerability that was, wait for it, patched years ago. It's like fixing a hole in your fence but leaving the gate wide open. You see folks, patching vulnerabilities is great and all, but if companies don't actually install those patches, it's about as effective as using a paper umbrella in a hurricane. Chapter 6. Rise of the Script. Kiddies, when your coworker's a hacker, remember when you needed years of training and a degree in computer science to be a hacker? Well, those days are gone, my friends. According to a new report by cybersecurity firm Catum Networks, the unskilled threat actor is on the rise, and these newbies are using AI-powered chatbots to do their dirty work. That's right, folks. We're living in a world where your coworker who can barely set up a Zoom meeting could potentially create an info-stealing program with the help of a chatbot. It's like giving a loaded gun to a monkey and hoping for the best. Chapter 7. Microsoft's feature or why your Windows PC is a sitting duck. Trend Micro, the cybersecurity company that's always one step ahead of the bad guys, has discovered that hackers have been exploiting a zero-day vulnerability in Windows. And get this folks, this vulnerability has been around since 2017. That's right, Microsoft has known about it for 6 years and done absolutely nothing to fix it. Their official response? It's not a vulnerability, it's a feature. Okay, they didn't actually say that, but it might as well have been. This is like knowing your house has a leaky roof, but instead of fixing it, you just hand out buckets and tell everyone to deal with it. Chapter 8. Estonia 2007. The day the cyber war began. Now let's take a trip down memory lane to 2007, when skinny jeans were all the rage and the iPhone had just been released. It was also the year of the world's first cyber war, and the battlefield was... Estonia? Yes, you heard that right. This tiny Baltic nation found itself on the receiving end of a massive cyber attack. All because they dared to move a Soviet-era war memorial. Apparently, someone in Russia was really attached to that statue, because they unleashed a digital fury the likes of which the world had never seen. Chapter 9. A digital blitzkrieg: how to take down a country without firing a shot. This wasn't just some kids in their parents' basement launching DDoS attacks. This was a coordinated assault, a digital blitzkrieg that combined informational warfare, DDoS attacks by an army of unwitting civilians, sophisticated botnets, and elite hackers targeting critical infrastructure. Banks were knocked offline, government websites were replaced with propaganda, and the entire country was plunged into digital darkness. It was a wake-up call to the world, a chilling demonstration of the power of cyber warfare in the 21st century. Chapter 10. Estonia fights back: how a tiny nation sounded the alarm. But here's the thing about Estonia. They're a nation of tech-savvy badasses. They didn't just roll over and let the hackers win, they fought back, using their expertise in cybersecurity to mitigate the attacks and get their systems back online. But more importantly, they went public with the attack, exposing Russia's actions to the world and raising global awareness about the very real threat of state-sponsored cyber warfare. They were the little country that roared, and their experience served as a stark warning to the rest of the world. In the digital age, no one is immune to attack. Outro: stay safe out there, because Microsoft won't. That's all for today, folks. If you found these stories as mind-blowing as we did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there in the digital world, and we'll see you next time.